First of all, can you give us a little introduction of yourself, who you are?
Sure. My name is Calogera Simonara, and I'm from the Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York City.
Okay. And what's your field of interest?
I'm an associate professor in the Department of Genetics and Genomic Sciences, and our department focuses on lysosomal storage disorders, and in particular the mucopolysaccharidoses.
And how long has that been your field of interest for now?
I've now worked with the MPS disorders for 20 years, and my emphasis has been on the bone and joint disease in using animal models. We actually have animal models of all the different types of MPS disorders, and these are all naturally occurring. So we have an advantage that if we find a particular finding in one type of MPS, we can actually look across the board at the different types of MPSs and compare them.
And why are you so interested in the mucopolysaccharidosis and related disease?
Initially, when I was introduced to them, to be honest, it was a new field for me. It was something new and exciting. And as I started working on the disorders, I saw that there was a lot of potential and there was a lot that could be done and a lot that needed to be done, and there's still a lot that can be done. So I thought this was a good stepping stone for my career, and now after 20 years, I've enjoyed it, and I think I've made a contribution.
Yes. Okay, you already had your presentation. Can you give us a short summary of what the presentation is all about?
Sure. So my lab focuses on using novel therapies that could be used in conjunction to the enzyme replacement therapies, because we know that enzyme replacement doesn't exactly correct any of the real bone issues in MPS. And what we found is that in addition to the actual bone disease, there's actually an inflammatory disease that's occurring in the MPS disorders. It's almost like a rheumatoid arthritis. So what we're doing is we're using anti-inflammatory drugs that are actually on the market that are being used for other different diseases such as rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, and we're using them in the MPS and see if we could actually make a difference. And what my talk on was today was using a particular drug called pentosan polysulfate, called PPS, which is anti-inflammatory, and it's actually approved by the FDA in the United States for a disease called interstitial cystitis. But when we used it on the MPS 6 rats, we had amazing results. We saw a reduction in many of the inflammatory markers that we have, but most importantly, we saw a reduction in pain because the animals had more motor ability, they were able to move better, they grew a little better, they looked better, so it's actually helping. So now we just need more studies. These were initial studies. We're going to do different doses, the different MPSs, so it was a beginning, and it was a very positive study.
Yeah, the results look very promising. And what do you see in the future for this?
Well, what we hope is that we could actually bring this into the clinic. So we are now trying to understand the mechanism a little better and trying different doses, and we're, if possible, we'd like to try to organize a clinical trial where it could actually be used in the patients.
Yes, okay, very nice. What do you think of the conference so far?
Oh, I think it brought together many people from different aspects of the MPS, many countries, and it's always positive when you have many different people brought together that have one focus and one aim, and that's to work on the MPS disorders.
And what do you think of the concept of patient and doctors?
I think it's very good because you could actually have a feedback, because the best opportunity for us that are on the other side of the patients is to actually understand the disease and what are the everyday needs that the patients actually have, and to see if we're actually looking at what would make a difference to them, so we could actually focus our research.